As government finds itself less and less capable of delivering into some of these social imperatives, which is what's keeping them re-elected, getting them re-elected, and they try to transfer more and more of those into the lap of the private sector, that we could become less competitive. A whole lot of the social obligations around housing and health and education and so forth are being transferred from the actual custodian of those obligations, government, into the mines as a condition to their licenses. And that's almost a hidden tax. And it's also a counterproductive tax as far as I'm concerned, because the more you've got to spend on that, the fewer people you would want to employ. So you're certainly not going to be creating more and more jobs if you're going to have to deliver into all of these obligations in order to keep your license. Rather just call it a tax and put us in a position where we can measure that tax, as opposed to have a fuzzy, indeterminable social obligation that puts your license at risk. You talk about the Australian shareholders and yeah, you know, they're concerned about taxes and so forth, but that's it. They pay the tax and that's it.
There have been calls for our royalty tax to perhaps contribute towards some of the housing imperatives and social imperatives.
If there's going to be a condition to spend more money, in other words, to expend capital that will impact on the bottom line, you've got to balance that out. There has to be some sort of reprieve or some sort of set-off, unless we're comfortable giving the money to the Department of Works, and I don't know if we all are. So if we want to keep it internal, if these obligations are going to be an internal obligation to provide or delivering to these social imperatives, there has to be some sort of a set-off so that you can model it. At this stage you can't model it, it's a hidden tax, and I think if not managed properly it could render us less competitive, even compared to Australia.
Tell us about the number of people you've trained.
We've trained the better part of 5,500 people.
And how can you help the near-mine and squatter communities to achieve?
We've established math and science classes at our development centre. We've also moved that into the townships now because they find it difficult to actually get there. Computer skills is also something that we offer. We have an entrepreneur club. It's a 3-year course where we pull young high school children into a program, and it's a very well attended program. So the focus is really to get them to achieve rather than to receive, and to empower themselves.